Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. I'm Inferno Paternal. How are you guys doing today? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day so far. And if you're not having a good day, I hope that this video at least entertains you or makes you feel a little bit better at the least. And in today's video, as you guys can see the title, we're going to be talking about Netflix's brand new announcement in which they said within the next year, they're going to start creating video games. And that's a pretty bold statement, at least in my eyes, for a company that has shows and their own Netflix original shows. And they have created games in the past, but how will this new decision work? How will it turn out? And I'm going to be discussing whether I think it's a good idea or a bad idea.
Subscribe.
Alright guys, now there's a lot to talk about regarding video games coming to Netflix within the next year, but the thing that I want to start off with is the fact that they actually have created a game before, a mobile game called Stranger Things. They worked on a game called Stranger Things, the game, in collaboration with Bonus XP, and according to Metacritic, this game actually did pretty well, getting a Metascore of 81 and a 7.0 user score, which 7.0 out of 10 in my eyes for Netflix is not that bad. And then again, this is a mobile game, and the mobile games are probably going to be scored a lot differently than you would say a console game or the official games that Netflix are talking about coming out with. But I think this is a good start for Netflix. Whether it being a mobile game or not, they actually have a clean slate so far with their video games, and their reputation for video games is not tarnished yet, or at least not right now. So I do believe that Netflix has some great potential in creating video games for their platform, but I think there are some things that we need to be pretty cautious about. A specific thing that I think we should be cautious about is this little fact that is stated on this article, okay? Netflix has hired former Electronic Arts, or EA, and Oculus veteran Mike Verdu as its vice president of game development. Now, the only reason that I state this as possibly being a caution for us to look at is because of EA's past with their video games. Their video games have been tarnished and destroyed by microtransactions and other mechanisms that have just deteriorated the quality of the game. Now, I don't think that because this guy worked with EA and EA has had some bad games in the past, I don't think that because of that, the games are going to be bad. I just say that we should be cautious of microtransactions. But there is some light in the tunnel because according to this article, Verdu has worked on The Sims, Plants vs. Zombies, and Star Wars franchises. However, the Star Wars franchises got tarnished with microtransactions, but we don't entirely know if that was his doing, so we can't really say that microtransactions are going to riddle the games of Netflix, but I think it is a good point to at least be cautious of that fact. Now, I do want to say, in my eyes, The Sims and the Plants vs. Zombies games were a huge success. Not the Battle for the Neighborhood, the third Garden Warfare game or whatever, but the first two Garden Warfares were one of the best, if not best, multiplayer games that I've ever played. But I think the greatest news of all coming from this whole situation is Bloomberg reported on Wednesday that games and Netflix video game expansion will be added alongside the company's current selections, similar to what Netflix did with documentaries or the stand-up specials. So we're not going to have to pay extra for these video games. And I know a lot of you probably expected not to pay extra, but in my eyes, with EA being over this project and with many of the microtransactions and money schemes loitering and absolutely destroying the quality of games these days, I wouldn't be surprised if there would be microtransaction we would have to pay for something. But so far, they say that games won't cost extra. At least at this point in planning, it is said that they won't. But I think we should take that with a grain of salt because I believe there's going to be microtransactions in some way. But if they could at least limit it to where it won't ruin the quality of the game and it's just cosmetics and it won't make you better at the game, then I think we'll be okay there. Another way that we can look at this is Netflix is trying to beat the other streaming platforms that they are competing with this video game advantage. And as this title says in this article, Netflix is trying to beat competitors by adding video games. And this would make a lot of sense because, at least in my eyes, I believe that Disney Plus and Hulu and the other streaming platforms are whooping Netflix right now. And I think one of the biggest problems for Netflix is that they bring such great shows to it, such great movies and amazing movies to come back and watch later. But Netflix takes them off. They take them off in a few months or even a year, and it's just long lost and forgotten. And I know that this may have to do with legal troubles or a contract in which it's only going to be on there for a certain amount of time, but I believe that why put it on the app if it's just going to be, lost within a month or two, or at least a year? So what I'm trying to say is I don't think Netflix is doing the best of jobs right now against the other streaming platforms, especially when Hulu has Rick and Morty, South Park, I believe One Punch Man 2, and Disney Plus has fantastic shows such as Loki. It has Hamilton, it has the Mandalorian, and many other huge, big budget, really successful shows that are bringing it down right now. And I think that Netflix has to do something to get their foot back on the ground and have the advantage that they used to have back in the day. And video games may be the solution. We've also seen that video games are already technically on Netflix, such as Minecraft Story Mode, so this is not too far from their grasp already, because you can choose some of the choices. It just does all the fighting for you. But overall, I think it's a great idea that Netflix is getting into the video game industry. It's such a big and expanding and growing industry. I mean, still to this day, AAA titles are making bangers. But also, it's not all clear light. It's not all success. Many games are receiving downward spirals. Many games are just dying and not living up to the greatness that they once were. And I believe that Netflix, if they could do it right, they could start a AAA franchise possibly, or at least a franchise that would bring more success to the video game industry, probably even bring more light to the tunnel and set a precedent for more streaming services such as Hulu and maybe even Disney Plus to make their own games. That'd be pretty sick, but at least that's my opinion, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I maybe enlightened you a little bit, or at least entertained you at the least, and I hope y'all are having a great day once again. Don't let anybody break your stride, and for all the new subscribers, welcome to the family. We welcome you with open arms, and I love you all, and I hope you all are having a great day, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.